The town of Ardent Hollow had always been a place where time seemed to slow down. With its fog-covered streets, ancient buildings, and a constant sense of quiet, it felt like a place untouched by the outside world. Yet, beneath this stillness, something dark simmered, and nobody seemed willing to acknowledge it. For years, rumours had circled about the old Bellamy Manor on the outskirts of town. The once grand estate had stood abandoned for as long as anyone could remember, its tall iron gates rusted and its windows boarded up. The manor, however, was not just a relic of the past, it was a mystery that no one dared to unravel. It had been the site of strange disappearances over the years, and anyone who ventured too close at night could hear faint whispers and strange noises coming from within its decaying walls. Sophia, an ambitious young journalist, had heard the whispers just like everyone else. But unlike the townspeople who refused to speak of it, she was determined to uncover the truth. Her curiosity had always pushed her toward the unknown, and this was a story she couldn't let slip away. She had spent months researching, reading old diaries and speaking with the few remaining residents who were willing to share their stories. All the signs pointed to one thing. The manor was hiding something, but what? One cold evening, after gathering all the courage she could muster, Sophia decided to visit the manor. As she approached the property, the air grew heavier, and the hairs on the back of her neck stood on end. The once lush gardens were overgrown, and the main door of the manor creaked ominously in the wind. She pushed the door open and stepped inside, her heart pounding in her chest. The interior was dark and musty, with a faint smell of decay lingering in the air. Her flashlight illuminated cracked mirrors, cobweb-covered chandeliers, and furniture covered in dust. But as she explored deeper, a sense of unease gripped her. There were strange markings on the walls, symbols she couldn't decipher, and a series of photographs scattered across the floor, all depicting people who seemed to have vanished without a trace. Suddenly, a door at the end of the hallway creaked open by itself. Sophia froze. Her instincts screamed for her to leave, but her desire to uncover the truth kept her rooted to the spot. She stepped toward the door, each step echoing in the silence. As she entered the room, her flashlight flickered and then went out entirely. In the pitch black, she could hear the unmistakable sound of breathing. It was slow and deliberate, like someone or something was waiting for her. Panic surged through her as she fumbled for her phone, but before she could turn on the flashlight, a cold, dry voice whispered from the darkness, "You've come too far." Sophia's heart raced. "Who's there?" she demanded, trying to steady her voice, though it shook with fear. A soft chuckle echoed through the room. "You think you can solve the mystery of this place?" the voice asked. "Some things are better left buried." The temperature in the room dropped dramatically, and Sophia's breath became visible in the freezing air. She felt a cold hand brush against her arm, and she recoiled in terror. Her phone buzzed in her pocket, startling her. She grabbed it, her hands trembling, and checked the message that had just come through. It was from an unknown number. "Leave now, or it will be too late." Sophia didn't need any more warning. She bolted toward the door, but as she reached for the handle, it slammed shut in front of her. Panic overwhelmed her. She screamed for help, but her voice seemed to disappear into the thick silence. The walls began to close in, and she could hear the whispers growing louder, more urgent. "You shouldn't have come." Desperate, she searched for a way out. Her eyes landed on a narrow staircase leading down into a basement. Without thinking, she ran for it, hoping for an escape. The stairs creaked under her weight as she descended into the darkness. Her flashlight flickered back to life just as she reached the bottom. The basement was unlike any part of the manor she had seen before. Strange, arcane symbols covered the walls, and in the center of the room was an old stone pedestal. On it sat a large, ornate box, covered in dust and cobwebs. Sophia approached cautiously, her curiosity overpowering her fear. As her fingers brushed against the box, she felt a jolt of energy shoot through her. Suddenly, the whispers turned into shouts, and the ground beneath her feet began to tremble. The air felt charged with an unnatural force. "It's too late!" the voice shouted again, but this time it sounded closer, almost as if it was coming from inside her own head. With a forceful push, the box opened, revealing a small ancient key inside. As she touched it, the room seemed to shift. The walls contorted, the ground cracked, and the shadows around her twisted into horrific shapes. Sophia tried to back away, but it was too late. The key had triggered something powerful and terrifying. In that moment, she realized the truth. The manor wasn't just haunted, it was a doorway to something much darker, a force that had been waiting for someone foolish enough to awaken it. And now, that force had found her. Sophia turned and ran, but the ground beneath her feet seemed to give way. The walls seemed to close in, and the whispers became deafening. She knew she might never escape this place, but her final thought was clear. She had opened a door that should have stayed shut, and now there was no turning back.